Greta Gerwig's Little Women is so discriminatory, it doesn't even actually have any Little Women. Send. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jared. We are approaching the end of the year, and I was able to check out one last final movie of 2019 because where I live, certain ones aren't coming out until January. But I was able to check out the new Greta Gerwig film, Little Women. Following the lives of four sisters, Amy, Jo, Beth, and Meg, as they come of age in America in the aftermath of the Civil War through difficult and changing times. So is this updated look at a classic worth the watch? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of Little Women, if you were able to check it out with your family this weekend, or if you're very much looking forward to this film. Now let's get into some of the good. So growing up, I remember seeing the previews for the, 1995 version with Winona Ryder. Every single VHS I had rented on TV all the time, so I'm very much familiar with this, and I think in high school, college, a couple times I had gone to a showing of this, the play, obviously, but what Greta Gerwig did with this Little Women, she obviously paid tribute to it, but very much made it her own. And I love the kind of stamp of hers on this film. I mean, from the vibe, the costuming, the era, the set design, everything in this film very much feels of that era and suits it well. I mean, from the costuming, you have these dingy, muted colors, but there's also, when we go to the ball in certain scenes, they're very bright, they're flamboyant, they're over the top, and I like that kind of switch in style, and I think that I actually like period pieces a little bit, because the favorite from last year was one of my favorite, and this is also probably hitting up there as well, because I love the tone, I love the speech patterns, I love, the performances from these leading ladies were fantastic. I think Greta Gerwig, she very much knew what she was taking on, and again, put her own stamp on it. But moving over into the talent of this film, I would say that Saoirse Ronan, obviously at the forefront as Jo, does a fantastic job of leading this movie. She is so likable, she is witty, she is funny. She knew what this Jo character needed and really encompassed that in this film, leading us through this film. But her sister's adding on top of that. I would say that Emma Watson is perfectly cast as well. She doesn't have much screen time, but the screen time that she does have is great. I think that her accent squeaks out a little bit, but that's aside the point. But I would say right behind Saoirse Ronan as Jo is Florence Pugh's character as Meg. She very much takes this role and again shines. I mean, Jo is the main character, but Florence Pugh very much puts her stamp on this film, and 2019 has been a phenomenal year for Florence Pugh, and I love that she was able to, again, she's serious in this role. She has a dream, she's going off and wants to become a painter, but she also is able to channel this childlike humor and wonder. There's one scene where the four sisters are dressed up as men with pipes, and there's at court. And Florence Pugh, every time they showed her, I don't know if it was her hairstyle with the bangs or her facial expressions, but she was so damn likable and funny in this film. So I love, Saoirse Ronan and Florence Pugh, by far the standouts for me, but also Laura Dern. I can't forget about her. Laura Dern as the mother of these four little women is, again, phenomenal. They kind of touch on her story a little bit with the father being off the war and her being compassionate and very much caring for the people around them. So I thought, again, the performances, what Greta Gerwig did in this film very much paid tribute to where the source material came from. And Greta Gerwig, like I said, she put her own style and vibe on it. She told the story in, I would say, a unique way. I was going into this and I was expecting, just it playing through. But she very much chopped this in a non-chronological manner where you're introduced to these people, you're introduced to the ending, and it kind of fills in the bits and pieces in between and kind of almost meets in the middle. I would say that this storytelling was unconventional for the way that this story is, the source material, but surprisingly it did work. I mean, she took a risk and it definitely paid off. Now getting into the negatives or cons, I mean, these are little tiny nitpicks on the movie. Emma Watson's accent sneaking out a little bit, like I said, not a big problem at all, but I had just given the way that Greta Gerwig had chopped this up into a non-chronological manner to tell better or in a unique way on the screen. And I think that it was great. I think it worked out well, but it is a bit confusing to tell what scene is in what part of the timeline, I guess, of this film. They do a great job by showing costuming, different filters, hairstyles, and Greta Gerwig does a phenomenal job of really nailing this different, unconventional manner, but I will say, it is a bit confusing. If you aren't paying fully attention to the film, you might think that that scene happened before that one, and how come that's happening over there? A little thing, but I gotta say it. Overall, Greta Gerwig's Little Women very much pays tribute to the original, to the source material, while making it its own. With Greta Gerwig's style flowing through this movie, from the costuming, set design, the overall vibe, superb performances from the leading ladies, and an unconventional manner of telling the story. However, with that unconventional storytelling being a bit confusing, I would highly recommend checking out Little Women. I mean, if you're any fan of Greta Gerwig, any of the leading ladies, Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, Emma Watson, or you are just a fan of Little Women, highly recommend checking this film out. In closing, I'm going to give Little Women 4.2 out of 5 beautiful Emma Watsons. So what did you guys think of Little Women if you were able to check it out? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there, movie reviews, trailer reactions, fun comedy skits. There's plenty more. I think I'm going to be jumping into my top of 2019 with most surprising movies later today or tomorrow. Stay tuned for all of that. Follow all of my social media, click that subscribe button, share this video out, like this video. Seriously, thank you so much.